It is officially official. Unrivaled is down bad for Caitlin Clark. And obviously, everyone is a bit on bated breath if Caitlin Clark will be one of the people. But no one on bated breath more, it sounds like, than Nafisa Collier, Brianna Stewart, and every investor and person involved in the round.
Following several months of conjecture, the basketball world can finally breathe easier after Caitlin Clark, the WNBA Rookie of the Year and Indiana Fever star, concluded the discussion and announced her decision to join the unmatched 3-on-3 league that offers innovation, excitement, and a lucrative salary.
ESPN have essentially confirmed. They have confirmed that Caitlin Clark will not play in Unrivaled.
Fans and commentators have been reflecting on Caitlin Clark's choice to focus on her WNBA career rather than sign with Unrivaled. This wasn't just about one player. It represented the possibility of changing women's basketball. Could a celebrity like Clark have helped a new league reach new heights? Focus is still evident. Caitlin Clark's decision to remain in the WNBA is a declaration of priorities rather than merely a personal preference. Career and legacy, even while Evolution's daring campaign to reinvent the game was unparalleled, it ultimately turned out to be one of the year's worst marketing blunders. What impact will Clark's decision have on the basketball industry, and how will it influence upcoming leagues?
Has decided not to do Unrivaled, even though Aaliyah Boston's doing it, Lexi Hull is doing it, Kate Martin is doing it, and despite all the rumors, and I'm sure the push that was put on her. But Clark has all the leverage in this situation, and I'm not saying she flexed it, but she was comfortable enough in her position to make the decision. And it appears that answer is...
How can a league that hasn't played a single game create buzz among rival championship teams? Unrivaled's aggressive marketing strategy made Caitlin Clark the center of attention even before she committed. Fans analyzed Easter eggs that suggested her involvement, and rumors circulated about a jaw-dropping offer of a messy-likey deal exceeding $1 million for a 6-week season equity and revenue shares. To further fuel the flames, Unrivaled signed her close friends and teammates, including Lexi Hull, Kate Martin, and as one of women's basketball's biggest stars, Caitlin Clark's influence goes well beyond the court. Boston increased rumors of Clark's impending arrival and even partnered with her longtime sponsor State Farm, raising little doubt about their intentions. The league's hype machine was in full swing ahead of its November 20th roster reveal, promising a revolutionary foundation for the future, with Clark at the center of their ambitions. Unmatched bet big on redefining the game.
Unrivaled did the funniest thing last night that got a lot of us hooked in. Let me explain what I'm talking about. So just last night, Unrivaled put out this.
Fans were giddy with anticipation before the big revelation after Unrivaled promised a mysterious 22-minute roster announcement filmed the night before, giving a clue to Caitlin Clark's jersey number and leaving 2 squad spots available.
The very end reminds you once again 11 a.m. to 11:22 a.m. Eastern Time. 11 a.m. to 11:22 a.m. is a very specific time frame and a very specific amount of minutes for a video to be 22 minutes. Obviously, we all know that Caitlin Clark is number 22, and that has been the person that has been the most anticipated person that people either want to see in Unrivaled or people are just waiting to see if she is going to do it.
When the much-awaited day finally arrived, the 22-minute roster announcement video left viewers perplexed, irritated, and yet without answers. Fans had been anticipating a headline-grabbing reveal because every tweet teaser and calculated leak appeared to shout Caitlin Clark is coming. Fans swiftly flooded social media, calling the show a clown show, blatant bait and switch, and unmatched because it had built its narrative around making Clark the centerpiece, but failed to secure the star herself. The wild card spots remained empty, and the name everyone hoped to hear, Caitlin Clark, was absent. Beyond being annoying, what ought to have been a turning point for the fledgling league became a PR catastrophe. The league's reliance on vague clues and unmet expectations converted a promising chance into a flagrant blunder that made supporters doubt its legitimacy.
They tried to do everything they could to make the most of the situation. They tried to make the most of Caitlin Clark not playing by hinting everything and and basically making people think that Caitlin Clark was going to
Play Unmatched undoubtedly demonstrated that women's basketball has the ability to dominate headlines and spark debate by creating an air of exclusivity and mystery. The league attracted millions of viewers, even though the payout was insufficient. But can Unrivaled really thrive without its most marketable star, or has this spectacle done more harm than good to a league still struggling to establish its?
A basketball question. I know that you work really hard in the off season. You said yesterday you're always trying to get better. What's the thing that you're working on in this off season?
I think, honestly, besides the actual basketball skill part of it, I think getting stronger, that's what I'm focusing on. I'm in the weight room a lot, just building that strength. Obviously, it was hard going right from the college season to the professional season. You don't get to spend a lot of time in the weight room. So that's what I've tried to focus on the most here. And then obviously, a lot of things on the court. I'm always wanting to get better, and that's kind of what drives me, and I love it. I love getting to do it, and I feel very fortunate.
Following weeks of growing conjecture, the basketball world at last received an explanation. Shortly after the league's much-awaited roster release, Caitlin Clark would not be joining, shocking the sports world and putting a stop to weeks of rumors that had dominated discussions. ESPN broke the news mere hours later. Strangely, Clark herself said nothing in interviews, social media posts, or statements. Her reserved demeanor contrasted sharply with the commotion surrounding her name, which left fans and analysts wondering why she did it. This lack of information only increased the impact of ESPN's report, making her choice an even more intriguing subject within the basketball community.
Unfortunately, for some, unfortunately, if you just like Caitlin Clark playing, she's not going to be playing. But at least it means it's less likely she gets injured before the WNBA.
For the Fever in Indiana, Caitlin Clark's choice was a significant victory. Fans of Resurgence Fever took to social media to express relief and optimism, saying that her decision to concentrate on her WNBA career reaffirmed her commitment to a team that depends on her star power. One wrote emphasizing the confidence her decision brings to the team's future, and many others felt reassured that avoiding Unrivaled reduced Clark's risk of injury before her sophomore season.
Some of y'all were very happy that she's not doing Unrivaled, as to stick it to the people who treated her poorly.
After weeks of promoting Caitlin Clark as a possible signing, Unrivaled experienced a PR disaster. Her exclusion from the original roster brought attention to the dangers of depending too much on her name, and the infamous 22-minute roster announcement that included Easter eggs and alluded to her presence incited indignation as supporters accused the league of overselling a potential they had no control over.
They released a 22-minute long video for no reason, and for some reason started it with a timer. So, yeah, there is a random timer for no reason. For absolutely no reason. There is a random timer now counting down for the first 2 minutes of this.
Beyond the annoyance, the topic of discussion turned to Caitlin Clark's justification, with many pointing to her demanding schedule. After going directly from a historic college season to an outstanding rookie year, she has earned the right to take a break. One fan praised her choice to put recovery and longevity ahead of short-term financial gain, highlighting the tremendous pressure athletes face at the intersection of talent marketability and ongoing media scrutiny. By removing herself from unmatched competition, Clark spared herself from further demands that would have further solidified her status as a singular force in women's basketball. Her choice wasn't just personal. It also represented her faith in the WNBA's expansion and potential for success.
Basketball has really consumed my life for a year, so I feel like it'll be good for me to kind of reflect back on everything that's happened. I feel like I didn't even have time to really reflect on my college career because it ended so fast, and then I came here and was trying to give everything I could to this team and kind of move on and put all that behind me and help this team, get back to the playoffs. So, I feel like taking some time to myself and really enjoying that and reflecting.
As the dust calmed, attention turned to the WNBA's unmatched next steps. Could the league live up to the hype they didn't provide for Caitlin Clark? What did this imply for her path with the Fever and the league's future? Unmatched may have lost out on a great opportunity. Clark's constant attention to her position with the Indiana Fever demonstrated her comprehension of the WNBA's expansion and her crucial role as its.
Unrivaled just announced their rosters for this upcoming season while simultaneously pulling off the biggest troll in sports history.
In addition to elevating her own profile, Clark's rookie season changed the way that women's basketball was perceived overall. From packed arenas to record-breaking attendance, her appearance alone caused a seismic shift in the league's perception. In her first season, 21 broadcasts that featured Clark drew over 1 million viewers each, an unprecedented feat in the 27-year history of the WNBA. To put it in perspective, only a few games in the previous 10 years had that level of viewership. In fact, Clark's viewership exceeded even many NBA games this season. However, it wasn't just about TV ratings. The Indian Fever's home games became a spectacle, smashing attendance records game after game. A franchise that once struggled to fill seats suddenly averaged over 177,000 people each game. Opposing teams began booking larger venues only to accommodate the demand whenever Clark came to town. Her impact was widespread. Beyond numbers and accolades, Clark's selfless play style motivated her teammates to become real playoff contenders for the first time in years. Her game-changing assists represented a new era of entertaining and successful team-oriented basketball. Clark brought women's basketball back to life on a scale that many had only imagined.
My expectation is to be one of the best players in the world one day. I wouldn't expect anything less than that.
More history for the Fever rookie!
At this point, continue to be myself, and I think a lot of good will come from that.
With a new year approaching, Clark's impact is expected to increase even more. The question now is not just how she will create the Fever, but also how she will keep changing the whole women's sports scene. As it looks to build on this extraordinary momentum, the Caitlin Clark effect begs the questions of how far it can go and what her presence means for the NBA's future. Unmatched came into the public front with the intention of revolutionizing women's basketball, but when Caitlin Clark turned down their offer, the league found itself at a crossroads, and the backlash exposed a more serious problem. Unmatched over-reliance on one player's star power to propel its debut. By concentrating so much on Clark, they inadvertently revealed a weakness in their roster-building approach. Although the league boasts notable WNBA players like Breanna Stewart and Nafisa Clyer, Clark's absence as the most marketable individual created an indisputable void. The league's success would ultimately rest on its capacity to captivate spectators with dynamic gameplay and captivating matches even in the absence of Clark, according to pundits who questioned whether Unrivaled Vision could really thrive without her.
See how Unrivaled does without Caitlin Clark? They could still succeed, but we know what it would have meant if they had secured her on one of those rosters.
Clark's choice was a declaration about priorities rather than merely a rejection of materialism. Her emphasis on recuperation created a significant precedent for athletes in the public eye, inspiring others to put their health first for Clark. This decision strengthened her standing as a WNBA cornerstone. Her conviction that the league could succeed via teamwork and commitment emphasized her leadership and sport ambassadorial roles as unparalleled charts. A new path and the WNBA's ongoing ascent. Clark's impact is immense. She is not just reframing her legacy, but also influencing it. The story of women's basketball's potential on its own terms. Although some saw Caitlin Clark's decision to stay away from Unrivaled as a lost chance for the new league, it only served to highlight her dedication to the WNBA and her long-term goals for the league. It was more than just a passing headline. It was a turning point in her illustrious career.